Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at etrailer, and today we have the Kuat Transfer V2 2-bike platform rack. We're going to take a look at how it fits our 2022 Ford Edge. So the Kuat Transfer is pretty popular because it is the entry-level bike rack from the Kuat brand. So you have this very unique goalpost design, which allows you to step into the rack and then get your bikes. So if you have bikes of different shapes and sizes, we have a pretty medium range, but also pretty good weight capacity of 40 pounds per bike. And that way you can carry slightly heavier bikes than the normal. Now there are some downsides to this, like it doesn't have that much of an aggressive tilt, and we're going to focus on that with the Ford Edge. So we're going to start with that tilt away feature. If you open up that first cradle, you can step into the rack and get access to this foot pedal on the rack. So that way you just press that foot pedal and then the rack comes down. So now you can open up your hatch door. So see here that even though it didn't tilt down really far, fortunately the Edge's door still clears your pedals and even the mountain bike handlebars. So now I can get into my trunk and then grab my waters, my helmets, my backpacks. I can even change out my shoes here if needed. And now we just close the door and I lift the bike rack back up. I do not have to take the bikes off to get access to the hatch. Now, what types of bikes can this carry? Well, I did mention at 40-pound weight capacity, which is slightly higher than the average, but most of your heavier electric bikes will not be able to fit in there. So if that is the case, you are going to have to consider something else. But if you have a carbon fiber frame bike, a step-through bike, an alternate frame bike, this works great because it has a front wheel mount and a rear wheel strap. When you want to take the bike off, you start at that wheel strap, you press the lever that disengages the strap so that you can lift up and then fold it away. Then you go over to your bike. See how easy it is to step into that area. And now you can press the lever, push this up, then push that out. And now you can grab your bike and go. This makes it for an easier process than lifting your bike high up and over a hook. Notice the cradles on the bike rack as well as their little grooves. They're there because this can carry bikes of different tire widths. So whether you have a thin road bike tire or a wider fat bike tire, this can carry it. Technically, you can carry up to 5-inch wide tires, but you may need to get a strap adapter for the rear. So your rear cradle does tilt back and forth for those different wheelbases. Maximum wheelbase is technically 50 inches, although I did notice that once you get past 48, it looks kind of large on the bike rack, but it's still on there and it's still sturdy. So just be mindful of that. You might want more of a tray style platform if you have those longer wheelbases. The Kuat Transfer also takes up a good amount of space compared to something like the Kuat Sherpa. So it does stick out a little bit further past your vehicle. Measuring from the bumper to the end of the rack, it sits at 33 inches of length. If you have a small garage or you need to park into a tight spot, that's a number worth remembering. Ground clearance as well sits at 16 inches of height compared to the 11 inches of height of your shank. So you can see how there is that shank rise, so your bike sit higher up off of the ground, giving you more clearance for those steep driveways and hills. And since the hitch receiver on the Ford Edge just kind of loads the ground, it is very helpful for that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it up to be more portable. Press that lever, but this time, instead of tilting it away, fold up against the car. Notice here how with it folded up, you will not be able to open up your hatch even though there's a lot of clearance behind your car. So from the bumper to the end of the rack by that foot lever, it now sits at 13 inches of length added. This makes it very convenient though. Maybe you're holding your bike with one hand. You can just hold the rack with the other hand, step on the lever, bring that rack down. But what is it like living with this bike rack behind you all the time? Well, you do have some security features like a cable lock as well as a security Allen key for securing it into your hitch. And with it folded up like this, everything's visible. Your window, your tail lights, your backup camera, as well as your license plate. This is just an open design so that you can still see things behind you. When you go into reverse, you will see the bike rack, but you also see if there's any cars or people passing by. You do want to make sure you get the right bike rack for a hitch receiver though, and that you do have a hitch receiver. I know there's 1.25" as well as 2" options for the forward edge. The version I have, the Kuat Transfer, fits both of those hitch receivers, although you can find the 2" shank as well if you want to add on. So definitely check out our product demos here at eTrailer where we explain the differences between the different bike sizes, because you can get a single, double, triple version of the Kuat Transfer. Well, all in all, the Kuat Transfer is really popular, but I do recommend if you have an extra heavy bike, it's considered something that has a heavier weight capacity. The Rocky Mounts monorail is a really good alternative where you still have that front wheel mount and that rear wheel strap, but that one has a more aggressive tilt, giving you more space into your hatch. This though has a very open design, so if you like stepping into the bike rack to make it easier to grab your bikes, still an option worth considering. This was a look at the Kuat Transfer V2 2-bike platform rack, and we saw it here on a 2022 Ford Edge.